Concepts discussed in today's episode cater to the majority of heterosexual men in relationships with women. Everyone's financial and social status is different, and thus concepts discussed in today's episode will vary with context, jurisdiction, and personal condition. Chew the meat and spit out the bones as you so please. Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Today I'm going to go over how to manage your finances in your long-term relationship. Things have changed in the 21st century. For better or worse, for the average couple, 2 incomes are generally required to support a household. This has changed from the historical method of the man being the breadwinner, while the woman tends to the home. This means that our belief system needs to be updated to align with the social movement towards dual income households. Unfortunately, even though the majority of the Western world is moving towards dual income households, the laws that govern what happens in these households if a split occurs has not been updated. The laws are structured to award a woman with a high severance package anytime a separation occurs. These laws were set in place at a time where households only required 1 income, and the female genuinely required ongoing support to look after her children in the event of a divorce. Due to the lag in updating laws to align with the social norms of today, as a man you need to develop practices that protect you and your finances in the event of a separation. This needs to happen regardless of what you earn relative to your woman. It's not uncommon for an average wife earning the same as an average husband to be $1,000 better off per month if she divorces her husband and obtains child support and other benefits from the government. This number only increases as the income gap increases. If the income is very different, say you supersede her by several tax brackets, a divorce could be life-changing for her. As a man, it is very high risk to date a woman who earns an income more than 1 tax bracket lower than you. You can mitigate the risk with a bulletproof living arrangement and a prenuptial agreement, but this is no guarantee. Again, I must make this clear. There is no guarantee that you will be financially safe when you tie yourself to a woman. Having said this, managing finances properly in a relationship can be another factor that you can use to your advantage to mitigate the risk over the long term. As a couple, how you take care of ongoing expenses will come down to the abilities of each individual to stay on top of paying the bills. Sometimes the woman is better at paying the bills, but generally the man is better at this. In general, men are more ordered than women, but if the woman is a firstborn child, it is not uncommon for her to be more ordered than a lastborn man. The person with the better level of order is better suited to ensure the bills are paid on time. This needs to be made clear from the start to avoid confusion over who's responsible. The highest income earner should always be the gatekeeper of the finances, regardless of who pays the bills. This is because the person who offers the larger contribution to the kitty offers the greater sacrifice. The one earning the higher income earns the right to have a larger say on how their money is spent. The authority comes with the responsibility. Due to a woman's innate hypergamous nature, this will almost always be the man. If you want your relationship to work, this should always be the man. Great responsibility is required when you are the gatekeeper of the finances. Do not go tyrannical with this. You must not be unfair. It may be wise to schedule equal personal allowances for both of you. If you are a man who earns more than double the income of your woman, I recommend that you don't tell her how much you earn. This figure should be kept as private as you would for your friends. Treat her as though she were your mate and limit the information that you give her. The importance of this becomes greater the larger the discrepancy between your incomes. It might be helpful to imply that you earn less, to minimise the chance of your woman expecting more from you. Never disclose the full extent of your assets to a woman, including the amount that you have saved. I understand the drive to want to boast about what you have to offer in order to attract a woman. But understand, if you can attract a woman through other means, especially if it's unmitigated sexual desire, she will be that much more aroused when she realises your provisioning potential. This will give the relationship the best chance of success long term. If she discovers that you do have substantial savings, her love for you will now be based on multiple factors. Also, by not telling her your financial position, you also keep a sense of mystery. This will increase the attraction that she has for you. Demonstration is infinitely more powerful than explanation. Understand that you will need to disclose your debts and assets before entering into a prenuptial agreement. Failure to do so will not only void the prenuptial agreement, but you could also be charged with fraud. Unfortunately, keeping the value of your assets private at this time is just not possible. Just remember, the benefits of a prenuptial agreement far outweigh the concession of having her know the value of your assets. In this scenario, treat it as a learning experience. If your woman becomes excessively nice after finding out your financial position, this should be a red flag. People who treat you too nice should always raise your suspicions. At the same time, if she changes her behaviour after finding out that you had less than she expected, then this should also raise your concerns. In order to keep a woman's hypergamy satisfied, you need to pay for the majority of outings, dates, and one-off expenses. This serves to remind her that you bring more to the table than she does, which will maintain attraction. With regards to where you keep your money, You should keep your finances separate so that you maintain the ability to pivot with your finances should your woman decide to leave you. You should have both of your earnings deposited into your own accounts and have a third account as a common kitty that you use for everything related to joint expenses. An equal proportional amount should be put into this joint account and the balance of your pays be put into your personal accounts so that you can buy things that you desire. Understand that contributions to the kitty should be flexible based on how much you earn and at what stage of your life you're at. If you earn more, then you should take more authority, but all factors must be considered when determining these proportions. It may also need reviewing from time to time as salaries change or as a woman's lifestyle changes due to children. This division of finances applies less the more you earn. The more you earn, the more you should be pushing for a traditional one-income household. In this situation, it is of paramount importance that you protect yourself from the financially crippling effects of a separation. You need to be on top of your game and maintain sole access to your account. Make regular deposits into a shared account so that you can provide her with the lifestyle that you believe she is worth. As a high-income earner, you should strive to live separate in your relationship. Keep it separate for several years until you are as sure as you can that the woman you are with is not going to take your money and run. More caution needs to be taken the more money you earn. If you desire to live together, then a living arrangement is essential. If you live with a woman, understand that after a certain period of time, you may qualify as a de facto relationship. This means that even without any formal commitment, you still may be treated as a married couple for separation purposes. Depending on where you live, having separate bank accounts will also prevent your significant other from accessing some of your assets that are protected from division in a divorce. In most places, when you share bank accounts, the proportion of money received from an inheritance, which was previously exempt, now becomes a shared asset. Whereas if you have separate bank accounts, your inheritance is yours only post-divorce. This concept extends to using your inheritance to pay off a joint asset. This is just the same thing as putting your inheritance in a joint account. In addition, make sure you keep your retirements, such as your superannuation account, separate. Combining your accounts will save you slightly over the long term, but it is not worth the risk. Salary sacrificing into your super can also be used to ensure that you keep a larger proportion of your own money safe. As a general rule, do not allow your woman to possess anything that is exempt from becoming a divided asset upon divorce. Check the laws in your corresponding jurisdiction to determine what you should keep separate and what is okay to combine. Endeavour to make things fair for your woman. It is not desirable for a woman to suffer or benefit by a large amount when she enters into a long-term relationship with you. If she suffers much more with you than when she is single, she should leave you. If she benefits too greatly and you do not evoke sufficient genuine sexual desire in her, she may also leave you to take the money and run off with someone who will. Some financial red flags before getting into a relationship with a woman. If a woman is always asking about your finances, you can be sure that you are not her main priority. Your finances are her main priority. If she is bad with money, you may need to control all the finances. Some women are just not capable of controlling their consumerist impulses. Closing thoughts. An interesting way to think of the management of your finances in your relationship is that it's just another avenue that you can use to evoke sexual desire in your woman. If you are the financial authority in your relationship, you consistently demonstrate that you are able to provide, preside, and protect. Being the financial authority also allows you to exert frame control, demonstrate masculine stability, demonstrate leadership, and look after a woman. Learn to keep her dependent on you for these traits, and every cell of her biology will drive her to stay with you. As a man, you need to take control of the finances to avoid a woman looking elsewhere to satisfy her hypergamy. To maintain this control, you want to minimise her desire and ability to manoeuvre while simultaneously maximising your own. This will allow you to leverage this to your advantage and regain frame control when your authority is threatened. A woman has the leverage of the courts, the government, and the social force on her side. Nullify this advantage and swing the balance of power back in your favour by limiting her ability and desire to exercise this leverage to her advantage. I understand that this is a pretty bleak perception of relationships, but this is what modern society has relegated pair bonding to. Until the laws and attitude around divorce changes, you should remain in control of your financial protocol. If used properly, none of these strategies are controlling. The key strategy is to be in control. Being in control does not mean controlling. This is an important differentiation that is often not very clear to an outside observer. Controlling is being manipulative to get everything that you want at the expense of everything that she wants. Being in control is leading you and your woman to a better life. Despite what all women say they feel, they do not want to be in control of the majority of the financial decisions. They would much prefer their man control the important decisions and look after her. She can pay the bills, but the important decisions should remain with you. If you allow your woman financial control over you, she will lose all respect for you. You need to lead her. In doing this, you are actually giving a woman what she has evolutionarily evolved to be attracted to. Another thing to consider is that females have not evolved with the hardware necessary to handle power and authority properly. This is why women don't make good leaders or strategists. If you give her exclusive financial authority, it could result in her spending all your money on her impulses. Remember, women make more than 80% of consumer purchasing decisions, and over 2/3 of the world's debt is with women. They do not do well controlling money. You must retain this authority in your relationship if you want to protect her from herself. For the wealthy men out there, your marriage is likely to take some form of legalized prostitution, exchanging sex for money. You will have access to some very good-looking young women who are highly interested in your provisioning potential as an exchange. Your financial authority can be a powerful force that can prevent you from tolerating bullshit from women if you retain the financial authority. If your woman stops having sex with you or ceases to meet your needs, then you can withhold your finances in order to leverage things back in your favour. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 41, I'll cover why nothing costs nothing. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.